Hey, howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 589. It's the Detroit Lions time to get right. We got that in the barrels, ready to talk about it. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am the dashingest of hosts, Chris, and with me is my good friend and co-host. You might think he's bald. He's just wearing a hat, Jeff the Riz Rizin. How you doing, brother? Hiding out that hair today. What's going on?
I was a little fluffy. I ran out of product, so... We're not going to expose the people to that.
There's something about Mary has a product you could use.
God.
We'll throw back.
No, it's good, man. We had a bye weekend. Got to go see my kid. Having a good time. Got to drive and ponder things for a long time. That's kind of fun. It's always nice to do that.
Nice. Wow. I'm going to go with razors, but it could be razzers. We'll call them Rizzers. New to football, found out I love the Lions and been watching y'all trying to learn more. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Good to have you on board.
Nothing wrong with loving the Lions.
Yes, it is a good time to be on board. You missed a lot of tough years. Let's talk about what we got. We got a show. Let's put this together for Razzers.
Yeah.
Rizzlers. We got a good show. We're going to talk about where do the Lions stand in the league. Talk about what we mean when we say it's the Lions' time to get right. And getting right, it depends on getting well. And we're going to look ahead to Minnesota and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Mr. Risden, are you ready to go, my friend?
Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
And do it we shall.
Our wayward pinky is grotesque indeed.
That's not the only appendage. Let's talk about what we have here. Our first topic is where the Lions stand in the league pantheon. And I have to give Mr. Risden credit. We were just tossing, hey, what topics we going to talk about today? I couldn't omit the word pantheon. I just loved it. You need an excuse to use a fun word, man.
It's a great word. It's... We got to expand vocabularies. That's one of my goals in life, is to expand everybody's vocabulary around me. So if you don't know what a pantheon is, you probably didn't go to high school. I think everybody learned what the pantheon is. We all studied mythology. Some of us loved it. Others begrudgingly. Look that up too.
Well, yeah. I try to help people with their expletives because sometimes when things go wrong, you just need the right word, and I'm helping that vocabulary there. So,
Oedipus.
Okay, Oedipus. Oh wait, did we just switch our roles? Let's talk about this.
Speak your Persian insults at you.
Where do the Lions stand in the league pantheon? There's a lot to talk about here. The Lions, they're a pretty good team if you get right through it. And I guess if you start with just power rankings to talk about where they are, and I'm going to use the power rankings in PFF because they've got a methodology. It's repeatable and reliable. It's not always right, but it's good enough. I'm just gonna look at that and tell you right off the top, they've got the Lions at number 3 right now, behind Kansas City number 1, which drives me nuts. I will admit, and Green Bay at number 2. They beat us. They've played well. They've played strong. Seem to have a little bit of possibility yesterday where they could have gone down, but managed to stay alive.
I mean, I actually didn't watch. I watched about 3 drives of that game, and the Steelers uniforms were just like, I can't do this.
Oh, they were
Those
horrible.
Were awful.
They were Power Rangers.
Were awful.
My wife just kept saying, I'm watching a Power Rangers episode. What the hell is going on here?
That was bad. That was, yeah, not great. Yeah, so, I mean, the Packers, they are the number 1 seed. You got to give them credit for that. They did, in fact, beat us. Like, I get why they would be ahead in the power rankings.
The two losses are ahead of us in the power rankings, right? Okay, fine. It makes sense. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that, and their records are, well, we are a game better than Kansas City, but, they did beat us, and they're getting healthier. Getting Rashee Rice back was a big thing for them. So, I get that. They've earned the benefit of the doubt from, being in the AFC Championship game in 7 of the last 8 years, winning a couple of Super Bowls along the way. Like, okay, I'll buy that. I'm not offended that Kansas City's ahead of us there. No. I would have been offended, like, if the Colts were. So I know the record's better.
It's a little sticky in my craw, though, that Kansas City's ahead of us. I have a newfound hate for Kansas City this year.
Most of us do.
Yeah. Kansas City, huh? Anyway, it is what it is, and we'll go with it. But let's talk a little bit about what it means. You know, if you think about it in the stack from the top down, the Lions, the remainder of the schedule. I thought maybe we talked a little bit about maybe doing a little bit of a walk through the schedule, Riz, and I thought this would be a good way to kind of contrast our games that we have left against the teams and where they stand in the pantheon, if you will.
That's the way to go.
You feel good about it?
I like it.
We haven't pre-gamed any of this, guys. We're just doing this like on the fly. All right, next game, Minnesota Vikings. This is an important game.
They're awful.
This is still an important game, right? You got as Gray talked about. And if you guys haven't seen Gray's episode from today, please go check it out. It is fantastic.
It's very good.
Fantastic. He's getting better, and I always loved him. He was great, but he's really found his stride, man. He's kicking it right in the good spot. But it's the Michigan battle, Wolverine on Wolverine violence. You got Mr. Hutchinson, Mr. Aiden Hutchinson. It's going to be chasing down JJ because it looks like JJ's going to play. I heard people out there talking about the Vikings possibly scrambling for another quarterback. I saw someone, what was it, Smolik maybe, speculating that maybe they could run after AR-15. Anthony Richardson.
Oh my God. Him running a Kevin O'Connell offense would be high comedy. Make that happen. I need that in my life.
Speaking of high, Kevin O'Connell, as a quarterback or former quarterback, seems to have not a many F's to give about his quarterback. Carson Wentz came in with a shoulder that was hanging on by a ligament, maybe, and was getting punished out there. Why in the hell did they not pull him from the game? And why? And number one, and then number two, Carson Wentz, look, I know he's been injury prone. I know he's got a lot of things that have gone wrong for him in his career, but I have to give it to him for being out there and gutting through all that. Holy crap. I knew he was hurt. I knew it hurt. You could see it in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was going to cry on the sideline. You know what I mean? And he still kept at it. That's the level of grit, man, that hate to say it. That's Lions tier, man.
That is what the Browns did to Baker Mayfield. And it was wrong there, and it's wrong here, too. Yep. And I hope for Carson Wentz's sake that he can come back as strong as Baker Mayfield has, because Baker is better now. And he's in a better place now. Look, Carson Wentz he was one draft earlier than that. And he's not, for such a promising guy coming out of North Dakota State, he's bounced around a lot. He's never been awful, but he's never been the man.
Right.
And, if he can bounce around, 5 more years, 3 more teams being a backup quarterback who starts 3 games a year, that's great. And that should probably be his goal, because if I were him, I wouldn't even consider coming back to Minnesota. My God, Look what they just did to you. Like, you're playing with a torn labrum. There was some other injury to the shoulder as well. You're playing 3 backup offensive linemen in front of him, against really good pass rushers. What are you doing? That's negligence, man. That's rough. That's a good way to lose your team. Like, man, they treated him like that. What are they gonna do with me when I'm hurt? That matters. It does.
I really wonder. I mean, is there a lawsuit in the future here about potential lost earnings, man? Like, what this had done to him over the long haul. You know what I mean? Never seen such a thing. Probably there's clauses or whatever else that prevent it. But if ever there was a just malpractice suit for head coaching, that's absolutely it. Brandon here Brandon Kerr, nice to see you, man. Been a bit.
Brandon.
If the NFL is looking into what in the world the Baltimore Ravens did with Lamar Jackson and his practice or no practice, they should be chasing after the Vikings and what they did with Wentz. Yeah, that's like you can't preach player safety and then allow something like that to go on. The league this year has more controversies than in as many years as I can remember, man. It is an absolute shit show in New York. I don't know what they're thinking up there.
You know, and Tony Dungy came out on social media today and talked about some obvious calls that were missed in the game the other night, and he's right, and he's got a big point. And the more higher up people and people like Tony Dungy, who is a fantastic football coach, holds a lot of gravitas around the league. When he's saying things like that, it really. That's what can affect change. Like you and I can yell about it all the time. Our fans can yell about it all the time. You know, we can yell about it on the radio. When your big name people, when Troy Aikman, who was clearly nonplussed with the officiating a couple weeks ago, when he's talking about it during the game, you know, when the Lions are playing, you know, when you get Dungy coming out the way he has, our friend Pat Kerwin has ripped them a new butthole. For some of the calls that they've missed.
I love that.
That's where you start to get, you know, maybe there really is like an embedded issue in what's going on.
Bro, the NBA thing coming out right now and this the same time. This is
I know.
Stay tuned,
really
ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned because this could get really freaking interesting, really freaking fast. Like, what do you do with all that Vegas money that you've embedded into your product, NFL, if something like this comes up? What do you do? Holy crap.
Yeah. I really do want to give the officials the benefit of the doubt that they're just not that good and not corrupt in any way. But
you hope. You sure hope, but it's hard.
It's getting harder to hold that position every day. It really is.
And things just new shit pops up, and all of a sudden it's a change in the rules. Like how all of a sudden we're changing plays on a review, or there wasn't it's just like we've never done that before. Why?
How do you call forward progress on a tush push? I saw that controversy. Like, how do you? Like, they're literally moving him forward. They're literally moving him forward, and they called stop for. Okay, well, then stop with the ball where you stop the progress at. Don't put it up there. Like, oh my god.
That thing. Like, I love the play. I say stop it, but you also have to officiate it correctly, and the offsides and all. I mean, if Kadarius Toney gets called for being offsides as a wide receiver, and you've got 3 offensive linemen lined up off sides and over the ball, and you're not, what in the F is going on with the NFL? It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So anyway, we'll try to stick on topic here, but the Lions League Pantheon, Minnesota. Look, Minnesota should be a win. This should be a win this week.
Yes. They are in the bottom 20s right now. I know their record isn't the worst. Right now, there probably aren't 3 NFC teams worse than them.
You ready for this? They're 15 in the power rankings.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I know their DVA is in the absolute toilet, as it probably should be. So.
Yep. So this could be an anomaly. That will definitely change after this week, but that's pretty crazy. So we go from there. Gotta remember to click with the right buttons here. We go from Minnesota, then we have a familiar team. We go to Washington to play against the Commanders, who just lost pretty convincingly.
Lost convincingly. That's the exact word I was going to use, Chris. Good job.
And they happen to be number 14 in the power rankings right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're getting the benefit of the doubt that they have been playing without Jaden Daniels. They've been playing with Marcus Mariota, who's a capable backup.
Yep.
I think it ignores the fact that they have some very deeply embedded defensive issues on that team. They let some guys go. They haven't replaced them. I don't know, man. Like, I guess just going through, like, there's some really, really, really bad teams this year, and they're not one of them. So that like elevates them out of the bottom 5 just by that. And look, if Jaden Daniels is back, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
They have talent. Terry McLaurin's coming back. I saw him play the other night. He hadn't played in a little bit. My fantasy team knows that very well. You know, they can win. They can beat us. So I don't want to poo-poo them too much, but that is a game that the Lions should be favored by 6.5. I would think.
Yeah.
My early stab at it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Good question. Beer worshiping cult. Who's more in the hot seat, in Minnesota, the head coach or the GM? I have to say the coach after what happened to Wentz, because you cannot do that to a player. You can't do that to a player.
They might be tethered together, though.
Yeah.
Because, Kwesi has not had a lot of success in the draft, to put it mildly. And, oh, man, maybe I will say this. There's a lot riding on J.J. McCarthy for the rest of this season and how he looks and if they have a future with him or not. I think if there's no future there, and it's clear that by the end of the year, and we don't know that, I actually kind of think he might be good, but I need to see that first before I would make any investment in that. Yeah. If that's a miss, because that was their dude, like collective dude, like that wasn't Kwesi, that wasn't Kevin, that's both of them. Like that's a good way to blow a regime out, and the fact that they're running the exact same well, they're not doing the exact same defense, but they're still blitzing way, way, way too much for their level of cornerback play that they have, and it makes no sense. It's one of the reasons why I think, Chris, well, spoiler alert this, you and I are both thinking the Lions are going to win big this week.
Yeah.
And teams that have capable offensive linemen and good quarterbacks will eat them alive. And guess what Detroit is?
Like we said, I mean, this week only confirmed it. Case's predictions from when he was doing this show regularly are finally coming true. The Vikings are having their downfall. Case is a man who sees the future, usually about a decade ahead. But anyway, let's work our way through let's work our way through. I love him. Commanders. That's going to be an interesting game. And then we come to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 7th in the power rankings. It's in Philadelphia. That's going to be a game. I don't remember where I saw it said. This is why I don't listen to other Lions podcasts, by the way, because you hear things and you want to talk about them. And it's like, I don't want to pull stuff from other people's heads. But this game in Philadelphia is likely the game that's going to dictate where the NFC goes through. The road goes through whoever wins that game, very, very likely.
It could be. I think that's discounting the Rams too much, and the Buccaneers for that matter, but because their divisions are easier and they can rack up wins easier. But that is certainly going to be one where that could be home field for the NFC Championship game, even if neither team is the 1 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, that's very
big one. And the Eagles appear to have gotten right. I listened to that game on the radio. My leg hurts for Cam Scadaboo. After hearing it, I forget who was doing the call, but they were like the color guy who was doing it on the Westwood One Radio Network. Like he saw it right away, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's a serious injury. It's really bad." He's like, I don't ever want to see that replay. I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
It stinks for the Giants.
And then I watched it 5 times in a row, and I wished I hadn't every single time I watched it. It was like, oh God. Scadaboo. Scadaboo was such a likable guy, man. You know what I mean? It's
I am not a Giants fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he and Jackson, they're fun, man. They're bringing
Dart
life.
Was a good pick. We said Dart was a good pick, man. We saw him at Senior Bowl, and
we liked him.
He had a little something. He had a little juice in there, man. Oh, God.
He's got a little sauce to him, and you need that when you play in New York.
Yes, you do. Yeah. All right. So after we maul our way across Washington and then
Eagles are
have
an
that
interesting one.
knocked down. Then we talk about those Giants. We see Skibbity Doo, although he'll be on the sidelines, or probably not even in this building actually. But we play the New York Giants at home. I feel like that's a game the Lions, again, keeping it to the league pantheon kind of thing. I think that's the Lions game. They're 25th. 25th.
That's I was going to say 26th. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, and without like they're not devoid of talent. They just don't have enough impact talent. And I'm not sure that they're playing super hard for their coach anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Dable's one of those guys. Remember back when Dan Campbell got hired, there were a portion of the Lions fan base who was very interested in Brian Dable being the head coach. Just, it's easy to say now, but even back then it was like, I'm not sure that he's right for Detroit. I'm not sure he's right for New York. I think he's going to be one of those guys that you look at and is like, okay, he'll go back to being an offensive coordinator and he'll win a Super Bowl or two wherever he goes because he's great at that.
Yeah.
And the head coaching thing just might not be for him.
Yeah. In Jeff Schwartz world.
Yeah.
All right. So as we keep going here, walk through after we roll through the Giants, it's back to the Packers on Thanksgiving. And for those who are curious, I'm going to go ahead and do a post-game show this year for Thanksgiving. I may be doing it alone, so we might just do it with you. But we know there's some folks that can't make it, to their families or stuck somewhere, have to work or whatever. So figured, maybe a little solidarity for those folks, put a little something together to keep them entertained while they're.
I will be in Internet Free America in Houghton this Thanksgiving with my son. They have a basketball game that weekend, so we're going up for that. So
that Packers game is going to be tough, Riz. I'm thankful it's in Detroit, and I hope, man, we have that sweet turkey that year. That's going to be an important game. That one and the Philadelphia games are the two big ones I've got pinned up as super important. There's one more, but
yeah. But that's one you got to get. Because look, it's Thanksgiving. The Lions have not been super successful on Thanksgiving in recent times. Sure, chagrin. Yeah. You got to beat Green Bay.
Yep.
And because barring the freakish tie that a Lions team would get, like there isn't a tiebreaker with Green Bay. You have to get ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win. Got to win that one.
Can I just say, and we're going to go on after the Packers. Look, someone said it. Jay-Z says it. This will be a critical game to come the end of the year. I still think that first game of the season is going to be one that really bothers us at the end of the season and against Green Bay. And again, I'll say it again. I think it's bullshit playing a division game in week one because week one is not a week of real football. It's just I've said it. I won't keep going.
That's when you play other teams. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
We had that discussion. It was very well received too, which was kind of nice. Thank you.
Yes. All right. As we go on, we next then play the Dallas Cowboys, who drop 22 down in the rankings. Dallas Cowboys. This is finally going to be a time. I feel good about this game. They may be. Jerry's going crazy right now. Everything's going crazy. This could be a complete dumpster fire by the time December 4th hits.
The only thing that concerns me about Dallas is that they know their defense sucks, so they just try to score all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play a lot of teams like that. That can be dangerous because they do. Like Dak Prescott's having a great year. Like they've got weapons.
Yep.
Like you can't overlook that. The Lions should be favored in that one by probably quite a bit, but that is not a game you can look past because Dallas. It's sort of like Washington last year where like they didn't know that they were supposed to lose and they didn't when they played Detroit. Like Dallas might be like, if we got to win this game 58-56, we'll do that. Like they're good with that. That's a different mindset that you don't see in the NFL a lot, and that can be dangerous.
Yes. All right. Let me see here. We go to the next. We have, this one's the other one I have circled. I have the Eagles, I have the Packers, and these are all 1 week on, then a week off, and then it's them again, and it's a week off. Now it becomes the Los Angeles Rams. At the Los Angeles Rams. I really should have gotten tickets there this year. It's such a great stadium, but I'm going to actually be in somewhere else.
Where are they in the power rankings?
Oh, the Los Angeles Rams. They're 29th. No, I wish. The Los Angeles Rams are number 5. Fünf, as they say auf Deutsch.
That's about where I would put them. They're right there with the Lions and the Eagles.
Yep. Buffalo
and
Philadelphia, Baltimore.
Yeah. Not Baltimore.
They're 6th, man. They're 6th right now.
Baltimore is not 6th.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're 2-6.
They are 6th. All right. So after the Rams, a lot of people have problems with PFF. I don't understand. After the Rams, which
I can't believe you're not getting me. Oh my God.
After the Rams, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. You may have heard of that team. Hopefully they'll be in the Power Rangers outfits because they stink. But 2 nemesis quarterbacks in a row, from Matthew Stafford on to Aaron Rodgers, who for some reason cannot win when he needs to and cannot lose when he needs to. His career has been a bane of my very existence, a boil on the arse, as it were. I don't know that that's going to be, the teams hold up, stay healthy. I don't think that's going to be a bad deal for us. Mike Tomlin's a tough coach, but we're at home.
Yeah, they just lost old friend Deshaun Elliott, who was quietly their best defensive back, and that's a big loss for them. Look, they're another team like Dallas, where like you look at them and their record isn't great, and they don't have a lot of talent, but they use what they've got pretty well, and they can beat you if you overlook them. And we know that about Aaron Rodgers. Mike Tomlin somehow still hasn't had a losing season. They probably aren't. Like, if you look at their roster from 1 to 53, it's not better than 20th. Yeah. Where are they at in the power rankings? Probably like 12th, 13th.
If we're looking at our Pittsburgh Steelers, they're number 18.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I mean, they got dudes though. I mean, TJ Watt, Hayward, like they got guys, man.
Yeah.
Smith can play. Like Jalen Ramsey can play. DK Metcalf's always a problem.
Don Burr says Dan Campbell said November is the month teams start to separate. He absolutely did, and he's not
right.
wrong. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Steve Shattuck, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Much love. Anyone think Holmes is truly looking for an offensive tackle? If so, it would be a hard find. Yeah, everybody's looking for a tackle right now. Everyone's looking for a tackle in the preseason. Everyone's looking for a tackle in the draft. They're just not there. And again, the Lions are here with this line that we have, looking at it, that we know is not perfect and not as good as it was last year. And interestingly enough, it's still one of the better lines in the league.
Yes, it is. Yeah. All 32 teams need at least one more good offensive tackle. There aren't any. There just aren't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Go ahead. Not a great draft coming up for offensive tackles either.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Penei Sewell 2.0 is not in this draft. Tristan Wirfs is not in this draft. The guys like that aren't at tackle, but you can find like day 2 guys, early day 3 guys that might be pretty good. That's where I'm looking.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah.
Draft spoiler alert.
Yeah. The draft is already coming. Oh my God, I got to think about Senior Bowl. So yeah, that's It is what it is. That's where we're at. There's a lot going on there, and the Detroit Lions play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that this is going to be a really big problem. I just think that Aaron Rodgers is going to piss us off getting his bullshit pass interference calls that he's made a career out of.
Game's in Detroit, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that is a 1 p.m. kick, isn't it? That's like the last one.
Yep. Yeah,
that means that will probably be a Jonathan Vilma game.
It's actually a 4:25 game.
Oh, good. Oh,
we don't have many 1 o'clock games. I think we only have like 4 this year, 4 or 5.
We had 5, and we've had 2 of them already.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah. Oh man. All right, so we've got that going on, but I genuinely believe that the Lions will top Mike Tomlin and his Steelers there. After that, we have a game that, interestingly, at the beginning of the season, and this is just the way of the world. It looked like, we had to keep saying, look, this is a first place team schedule. This is a first place team schedule. It's going to be hard. So, the difficulty was the hardest in the league that we faced, right? But one thing that's true about the NFL is it's really, really hard to stay on top. And most teams can't. They have that window that's open and closes, and windows are closing and opening every year. And what happens is you wind up with what isn't that strength of schedule, but last year's performance is the best thing you have to base it on. And if you get a number one team schedule, and this is something that I hadn't really thought about before until this year, you're more likely to have an easier schedule than you are maybe if you had a number 2 or a number 3 team schedule, because you have people on the up more than on the down in those spots, right? It's weird. It's kind of strange like that.
Chris, this is a conversation we need to revisit in May.
Yeah.
When the schedule comes out, because people freak out every year. And teams are different every year.
Yeah.
That's like, we're going to be different too. We might be better next year. Who knows? I am one of those people. I really don't like going through picking wins and losses back in May, when the schedule gets done, and going through and like, oh, they're going to be good. Like, we don't know, especially teams that have like where a lot of guys are coming back from injury, or they have a new head coach, or something weird has happened for them. Getting a new stadium, a lot of teams get a lift out of that. Like, there's so many variables that go into it. When do you play them? That's where the scheduling part comes in. Like, yep. Okay, you probably want to play a team with a rookie head coach like right away. Yeah. If you play them in December, maybe not as likely that you're going to win, no matter who you are.
All right, we go from the Vikings, and then we wind up the season at a very surprisingly good team of the Chicago Bears, but they're still ranked 19th and below the Minnesota Vikings in the power rankings. But this is a game that for them is the only motivation for Chicago in that game is to say, we love you, Ben. We're going to give you a little something in the offseason and try to use it to build for next year. Right? I mean, what else are they going to have at that point?
They could conceivably be playing for a playoff spot there.
I don't think
they could. I don't think they will be, but they could be. Look, they got a nice win. It's fine. They lost this week, but they did have a couple nice wins in there. They hadn't lost since the Lions beat them until they lost this week. We've talked Caleb Williams to death. Like, I think we're going to be comfortable with the Lions going into that game, possibly needing to win to either win the North or solidify being the 5 seed, which is a great place to be because then you're playing the lowest seeded division champ. I like that. I actually like that a lot. I like being the 5 better than the 3, honestly, even though it's a road game. Chris, has this team had trouble winning road games?
Unfortunately, they've been better on the road than at home. So,
yep.
All right. All right, so we'll keep going. Last game is against the Bears. Like I said, there's the 3 games that I really have circled: the Packers, the Eagles, the Rams. Those are going to be the real tests for the team this year. But I mean, and it's not. I don't want to blow off any of the other teams. I don't want to whistle past them, right? But those are all games we should theoretically win based on performance so far. This is where, as Dan talks about, this is where a team separates, right? But those 3 games will be pivotal. Oh my God, pivotal in the Lions' playoff location for this season. They really will. I think they'll probably be the difference between a number 1 seed and maybe the number 5 seed.
Yeah, it could very well be. And you can't overlook. Look what happened this past weekend. The Atlanta Falcons screwed my Survivor fantasy pool. I had been doing great. Now I'm out because they got their ass kicked by a bad team.
The Rams game is December 14th. Got a question from Jeff. When is it relative to our players coming back from injury? No one is getting injured again on this team for the rest of the year. And it's on December 14th, so just about everybody be back. All right, so where do the Lions stand? The Lions are still a big dog in this league, and they can do a lot of damage. They stand really strong, and the games still have to be played, but if anyone has potential to do it again and take that number 1 seed again, the Detroit Lions do. But
yes, they do.
There we go. That's my segue. It's a time to get right. It's the time for the Lions to get right. Even sitting at number 3 in the power rankings, even looking as good as they have, they've not looked good in many ways. They haven't really, I think there was one game, they haven't really put a full game together with all 3 phases of football clicking. This last game, the Legion of Whom, and how well they played. Holy shit, right? You can talk to Kelvin. You got to give those players credit. The coaching, for sure, no problem, no problem. But those guys, you have to give them credit. For guys who haven't played together really, other than practice, they haven't played live snaps together. They're not the starters. And for the entirety of them to play as well as they did, that is absolute. Those guys deserve a shit ton of credit for playing some of the hardest positions in the game. I mean, quarterback is obviously, right? But beyond that, give them their due, man. Give them their flowers and give them all kinds of love. That is some beautiful work they did out there, and you can't dog on them at all. But we need complete games. Dan Campbell talks about November being the time where the teams start to separate. This is the time where, okay, Detroit Lions, your preseason's over, you've done your work, and now you've had your bye week to address some of your offensive stuff and to continue building and getting healthy on the defense, and for Dave Phipp to just flex that shit and pull those guys together on the special teams, because it looks like they may finally have it together. This is it, though. This is the time for this team to get right and take it. I mean, this is the game on, right, Riz? This is it. No more excuses now. This is the time for this team to really knock them down.
I think Dan in his press conference today was pretty happy that the bye week came when it did, because it's a good time for them to reset to effectively dividing the season. Look, I know they played 17 games. They played 7. Like, it's not half.
Right.
But it's where it needs to be. And it's enough time where they can see where they're at in the league. And they know they're good. And I love the way that he talked about reinforcing that they need to play to their own standards. And if they do that, they're good. And he's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think those guys sitting last weekend, resting, getting healthier, and watching all the chaos, like a lot of unexpected outcomes came. Houston blew the crap out of San Francisco. That was nice.
Yeah.
Like that one. There were a lot of unexpected outcomes. The Jets won. Good job, AG.
Good job, AG. Yes.
It was nice to see a week where like it was a great time to reinforce that you can't overlook opponents, and that if you hold yourself to your standards as a good team, that the bad teams aren't going to have a chance to beat you. And I think it was fortuitous timing on that, and I think Dan's spot on with it. They're in a good spot. They're getting healthier. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yep.
And they're playing really, really good ball. Not their best. Like there's a lot of things to clean up. They got to get better on third down for sure.
Yes.
They got to get better in the red zone. They need to get more aggressive earlier in games. I would love to see Jared Goff throw the ball down the field more early. But these are things that they can look at and self-scout. And without the pressure of having an immediate opponent in front of you, you can get those things done. So I'm really excited to see what happens coming out of the break.
Yeah, same. This is exactly that. All the things left to clean up have to be cleaned up this weekend. And for me, the number one question that needs to be addressed is the offense, because where's that offense gone? Right. And I say that as they score 31 points a game or something like that. It's this
we're not first anymore though.
Well, and this offense is better than that and more capable than that.
Right.
And it shouldn't be as much of a struggle as it has been. And if the offense was there, we likely would have won at least one of those two losses, if not both. They just needed to be there. Something's not clicking with those guys, right? And you have far too much talent on the field to be there. There's talk about JMO's not getting the ball. Maybe he's mad. This and that. This is not it. See the difference is when we had Calvin as an example. You get the ball to Calvin because that's all you got, right? What was his name? Chris Durham. You got Calvin or Chris Durham. Who's going to be open and who's going to catch the damn ball? Right? Oh, and Corey Feller, who's streaking into Ohio. Right. I mean, like, who's he?
Scheffler.
Yeah. Scheffler was good. Everybody was Scheffler. But
Western Michigan's finest.
Yeah.
One of their finest.
You didn't have the weapons to have a selection. Now, who do you get the ball to? The guy who's open. And that could be anybody. And it depends on how the play's schemed against the other team and how they react. You just get the ball to the guy that's open. It's not about, hey, we got to get JMO more balls, or we got to get St. Brown more balls, or we got to get Laporta more balls. You know why? Because they're all good and they all catch the ball and they all get first downs and they all score points. And it's a hell of a place to be as a team. And I'm not even talking about the run game on top of it, right? No. Guys get the ball. And part of the whole thing is when you play on a team this good, you win trophies rather than, accolades for being the one guy that caught the ball on the team all year. Now, some egos can't take that, but that's not how this team is built. And this is a test for JMO to see, is he built for this team? Because he's not going to get all the balls. I don't think it's a problem for him, to be honest with you. And I lean on that as a player. If I look at Calvin when he retired. I look at Barry when he retired, right? There was other reasons too, but how beat up they were. If you're not catching the ball every play, you're not getting beat up. Guess what? You're going to have a longer career. Like, all these things play in your favor. Just do your job and do it well when your number's called, and everything else will fall into place and you'll be just fine.
I love that, Chris, because that's exactly where I was going to go with it. And one of the things that struck my fancy as I was driving across the southern peninsula of the UP and thinking about all the consternation about JMO and Demo and Laporta's not getting the balls. Like, those guys wouldn't be Detroit Lions with this Dan Brad regime if they were people that would get upset by not getting the ball, if they were more interested in their personal stats than they were winning football games. They wouldn't be here.
Yep.
The Lions they have a vetting process that's pretty darn effective in taking care of those things and understanding that, okay, I might get 2 catches in 3 weeks, but we're winning all 3 of those games. That's what I'm here for. Yep. That's Laporta. That is JMO. I know there's people that still question that. I don't really have that question about him anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't. No. Demo knows what's up. And I thought Scotty Montgomery said something today that was like, he wants them to be frustrated that they're not getting more. But also understanding that this is what we are, and your time will come. And when your time will come, we will trust you to make your plays.
Yep.
And I like that. I like that he said it that way, because I think that does, like, you do kind of want him to be upset a little bit. Like, he just got paid $26 million. Like, give me the ball. Yeah. Like, let me prove that I earned this. Like, I get that, and he's right.
And if you make a mistake on the few chances you get, that pisses you off too.
Right. Yeah. So I like where they're at with that. I know that's not necessarily a popular take, but I don't see it as a big problem, because guys who would get frustrated by that, Pickens, who's now in Dallas, wouldn't be here.
No.
Trying to think of some other guys that would be like. Honestly, Justin Jefferson probably wouldn't be here. He's fantastic talent. He is.
Yeah.
He's going to be a problem this weekend, but he's a guy that's
doesn't get him the ball though.
Yeah, we'll see on JJ. I don't know. I'm gonna hold my tongue on JJ until we see him against us, because I do think that there's some things to like there, but I also think there's a lot of things that are like, oh, whoa, they're in over their head.
He's still a rookie, man. He hasn't really played. What? How many games has he even played? Right? I mean,
2.
Yeah,
he's played 2.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to understate, but I'm not super worried about JJ yet. And look, I'm a Michigan guy. I'm going to the game. My brother got his tickets. Look for me behind the bench, guys. Going down to the Michigan game this weekend. Going to have some fun. I love Michigan, right? And kind of root for JJ, except when he's playing against the Lions. But I just don't see it, man. Not yet. He hasn't shown it at all.
I think Kelvin Shepard's got some things in store for him.
What Kelvin did to Baker, who's a savvy, smart guy, you saw him, the 1,000-yard stare after that game. It was
like, what just happened to me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was wild.
I love where our defense is at right now. And we talked about this on the last show, Chris. The fact that the defense might be better than the offense this year, that's not a problem. That's not a negative for the offense, y'all.
It is for Dan Campbell.
Well, okay, yes. But in terms of winning football games, I thought having a good defense was the goal. I thought having a defense that can win you football games without having to, without the offense having to score 28 points in a game to win, I thought that was what we wanted. It's weird to me that people are complaining about the style. Like, the defense is really, really good, y'all. Like, they're getting pass rush.
Yep.
Their pass rush is outstanding with Aleem back. They're going to get more guys back.
Didn't break the bank on the guy opposite of Hutch. That's kind of a good play by Holmes. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say, just for this one, this is one where Dan Campbell is about the offense, and I guarantee
he's an offensive guy.
There's a lot of focus on it in this bye week, and this is gonna watch this team when they come out. I would say, and this is no particular insight, but watch for the headsets, watch for how things look on the sideline, because we may see some things switch up.
Interesting.
Dan's and it's you got to know it's his offense. You know what I mean? You got to know.
Yes.
Seeing everything we've seen now, we got to know this is his offense and everything else.
I hope people are done with that now.
And it's not running like he wants it. And I have a feeling that it's going to run like he wants it after this week. So, or this week, starting now.
It's a get right game, Chris.
Yep, it is. And it's against a great team to get right. It is a great team to get right, and it's the time to get right for the Lions.
Like, even if your offense is struggling, again, what I just talked about, their offense is really struggling. They've got a rookie quarterback. Their offensive line is 4 injured guys and a bad center. Like, that's their line right now. Like, this is. I don't want to predict a shutout, but it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Having said that, our defense will probably lapse, but I don't think so.
The other side of it is the offense. They believe they figured out Minnesota last year, and it was obvious last year that they had. And I don't know that a whole lot has changed. If anything, they've regressed, and they've finally met Case's doom note of falling off the cliff, and I love it.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
I will play a little bit of devil's advocate here. It's also their sort of death gasp. Like, if they want to stay in the playoff race, they've got to win this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fire sale in Minnesota after this week.
There's already talk that Hawkinson is being... he's not being shopped. Teams are shopping for him. There's probably a couple other guys that could go. We'll see.
That was one, just like Jamal, the Hawkinson one, when people were freaking out. I was like, God. Anyway,
he was a fine player here.
Look at my solo videos.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got to keep this going. It's the Lions' time to get right, and your time to do it right by your Detroit Lions podcast. Go to amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com, amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com. You're gonna go there anyway. If you haven't gotten your Halloween candy, how else are you gonna get it in 2 days? Amazon. How else are you gonna get all the last bit of costume stuff you need for Halloween? Amazon. How are you gonna get your turkey? Not at Amazon, but you can get other things there. Amazon is the place to go. All kinds of great stuff there. And you go there, you shop there, you know it. Go to amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com. You will flash right to Amazon. It just sets a cookie in your browser. Don't be worried about cookie. They get set on your browser all the time. This is not malicious. This just gives them the note that says, hey, Chris and Jeff sent you over there. DLP sent us over there. And if you go and you buy something after you go through this site, they take a little bit of the profit out of Amazon's pocket and give it to us for being such great people and pointing people in the right direction. So it's a great way to help the show by doing something you were going to do anyway. Go to amazon.detroitlionspodcast.com. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Talking about getting right depends on getting well, Jeff.
Yes, it does.
And getting well, there is this guy. I don't know if you know who he is. I like to call him Dr. Liao. He likes to call me asshole. My name is Jimmy. I don't know how he got that, but anyway, Dr. Liao put out.
That is absolutely how he would address you. I can see it.
No one's ever called me asshole. My name is Jimmy before, but whatever. Anyway, Dr. Liao has this great article going on this website. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called Lions Wire. Some people write there. I don't know. Anyway,
check it out.
Article's called Reviewing the Top 10's Lions Health Watch List entering the 2025 season at the bye week. And he does a really, really good breakdown, top to bottom, on the roster, who's coming back. Riz, I want to kind of let you, as the managing editor of this glorious site and a good friend of Dr. Liao, and of course, asshole, my name's Jimmy, just kind of walk through a little bit of the injury situation for the Lions and take us through what Dr. Liao said. And you can put on any.
Yeah, and he wrote another one about who all was going to be coming back too, and that's the one I'm looking for. Bye week injury recap with projected returns, and this is the one. So we already have Rodrigo got his clock started today. Daniel Thomas, he's a safety. You probably don't remember him because he hasn't really played much. His clock started yesterday. He had a broken arm. Rodrigo's coming off of an ACL that he tore 1 year ago. 11 months ago today. He tore it on November 28th, a year ago. He will be back probably week 11. It sounds like the Philly game is where they're targeting him back for. Thomas, don't really know on that. But there's some other guys. Well, let's go over the guys that have been playing hurt. Kirby, be back. Brian Branch, who's been injured aside from being suspended. He should be back. Terrion Arnold, very good chance we'll see him this week. If not this week, then next week. Sione Vaki, who There are some Lions fans who openly question if he actually exists. He does. He practiced. There's barring another practice injury, which would be his fourth in a season and a half. He will play. Hopefully, get through this. I would need to see him out there. It would be great. He was drafted for special teams, and like while our special teams are playing pretty well, they miss him. He's great at it. He embraces it whole hog. It'd be great to get him back. Because then that's one. That's right. That's one less potential starter that is playing on special teams for you. He can be out there with Pat O'Connor and Craig Reynolds, and Dominic Lovett is playing exclusively on special teams. They're getting that crew together. Avonte Maddox could be back this week. Probably next week is a little bit more likely, based on what Dr. Liao's analysis is here. Just going back a little bit deeper than that, DJ Reed projected back week 12 versus the Giants.
That's a big one.
I can actually see him coming back earlier than he's eligible to come back after this week.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's been running and cutting, and it wouldn't shock me if they let him rest another week just because. Look, I know it's Justin Jefferson and Jordan Ed. Those guys are really, really good. That's the best part of Minnesota's team. But I think the confidence that you got in the Legion of Whom, especially if Terrion is coming back, you can get, Nick Whiteside played great. You got Rock out there. I thought he played pretty well. Eric Hallett can buy you some snaps. It's not paramount that back this week.
I don't want to undersell anything here, Riz, but we've got the Vikings and then the Commanders. I think, look, if you got guys that are on the edge, you can rest them or let them get better against the Vikings. And then if you got guys, again, that are on the edge against the Commanders, you can give them another week too. I don't want to undersell the Commanders, but they're starting to implode. You have the Eagles in 3 weeks, right? That's the game where you want all your guys. You want all your guys there. And the Eagles, like the Lions, are a tough physical team. And I hate to say it, but when you play a physical team, you need depth because things happen, even if it's a one game, ding up or whatever else. That's the game where I think if I was the team, I would really be cautious to the point of targeting that game for everyone to be back.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Marcus Davenport could be back then. We'll see. Dan spoke very ambiguously about him today. He insisted it's not a season-ending injury, but also could not give a timeline. That's life with Marcus Davenport, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's kind of it's an iffy situation, or it's an iffy situation.
By the way, he's hurt again too. A hand injury that is expected to keep him out 4 to 6 weeks. I will reiterate my claim against him that he once missed 6 weeks with a finger injury that it wasn't even broken. That's why Iffy ain't here, y'all. They got tired of that.
Yeah.
They not knowing the difference between being injured and being hurt.
If he's really on the team, that's his name is. It's really just referring to if he's really on the team, because it's not even if he shows up. It's if he's on the team at this point.
Yes. Miami's learning that the hard way, and their fans are very frustrated with him.
Miami's got a lot of hard lessons this year.
Yes, they do. And then there's dudes that nobody really knows about, and Jimmy sort of speculated at them, but he made it clear that it's just speculating. Nobody knows what's going on with Zach Cunningham. Nobody knows what's going on with Giovanni Manu. I have heard a couple of different things about the mechanism of injury. If it was the latter one that I heard from somebody who was at the practice, he's not coming back this year. If it was the first one that I heard from somebody who is very familiar with Manu, he could be back around Christmas at the earliest. And that's, again, I don't know beyond that. I don't know what it is. They're not talking even off the record, at least not to me. They're not talking. So we'll see. Josh Pascal is another one that everybody's asking about. Nobody knows. I don't think Dan Campbell knows. I will say this from the conversations I've had with people around. They're not, like, they're good if he doesn't come back. Like, they don't need him on the field. They are not planning on, oh, he's going to come back, so we will have, like, that's not their plan. If he does come back, that's great, because they do like what he offers, but they have moved on. I don't want to say that they're ready to get rid of him, because that's not the case, but, like, they're good if he's not back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because we're going to get Jonathan Hankins, right?
There's a throwback.
Terry Gator guy, thank you.
That dude's still in the league, though. Good for him. This picture up here is crooked, and it was really, really bugging me, and I'm better now.
Okay, for the ADD. Okay, so we've got a lot of guys with injuries coming back, a lot of things to work on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're getting guys back. We're not signing Jamal Adams again. We're not signing. Oh God, some of the names that we had last year. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I had to look up. Like,
I'm scrolling through these names we get back, and it's great. Let's talk about one that we're getting back, and it's not from an injury. It's from suspension. Double B.
Yeah.
Ryan Branch coming back. Absolute. I don't what I said. Absolute wonderkin. I mean, he's just such a fantastic player, and he plays with so much passion on that field, man. So much, like, heart in what he does. You know what I mean? And sometimes the heart can trump the mind. It happens when you play with you do anything with the kind of passion that he carries. That can happen, right? That's sometimes part of the risk of that. There's an element of contrition in his voice today, and maybe contrition is maybe not the right word, because
I think it is.
I have a feeling there's going to be a focus from him. I have a feeling that there's maybe, I don't want to call it a lesson learned, because he's just such a smart guy already, you know what I mean? But it feels like he's picked something up, and something might have changed. Now we'll see on the field. We'll see what that means and how it translates to on the field. But Brian Branch has always been an absolute class act from before, but the moment that really stands out is him coming back to walk onto the draft stage at the draft when he was picked and disrespected, the way that he was. That's probably a lot of what drives his passion, a lot like Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra does the jugs machine. He has the list of all the guys that went before him, right? That's how he deals with it. I have a feeling that maybe Branch got a little taste of that, and it's a little he played angry differently than Amon-Ra does, and I have a feeling there might be a little bit of something going on with Branch here in this time off, and some of the conversations that have happened where we just switch flip like that. I really think this is a guy we need to watch, because this is a guy that could absolutely get right at just the right time when this team needs to get right.
And the other side of that is, teams are going to be goading him into trying to get him to lose his head and get him to take himself out of the game.
Yes.
It's very much, Pistons fans know this very well from Rasheed Wallace back in the day, where he would lead the league in technicals every year. Great player, but he would lose his head from time to time. Draymond Green is probably a closer example, because like Draymond does, Branch takes it over that. Like Rasheed always knew when to stop.
Yeah.
Like, once he got ejected, he would maybe say a couple things and then he'd leave. Like Draymond's going to go try and kick the ref in the nuts. Like, that's who he is. And unfortunately, that's who Branch is right now. And I'll
say who he was. He hasn't proved it yet. but who he was. I really want to give him credit. There's something, his demeanor today was different. He spoke to me differently and he didn't speak to me, but like what I saw was different than what I remember from him almost ever.
I want to see somebody pick at his scabs and him not take it and not bleed on him. You know, I want him to turn the proverbial other cheek. I want him to be the better man, but at the same time, you also don't want him, because one of the reasons that he's great is because he does play on that edge.
Yeah.
And he's so intense and so focused, and that's a tough spot. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful that he will get it together and not have an 11th fine in his last 20 games. So that's the 24 games. That's where he's at.
Yep.
Like that's indicative, and you better believe other teams are going to pick at that and know it and test him. I do very strongly believe that had the league not suspended him, the Lions were going to suspend him for that last game.
Yeah. I feel like it was more posturing than anything, but I don't think they would have suspended him. I thought he would have gone. I think he would have gotten through some verbal spankings, but I don't think they would have actually suspended him. I got to say, there's a guy in the chat right now that it's like, what in the world? Michael Gray. He's on this morning doing his own videos. Next thing you know, he's out here telling us we're about to see Brian Branch's final form. Good to see you, Gray. Great work. Nice. Great work on your stuff, man. Keep going.
Yes.
I can't. I was telling him today, I can't tell him enough how awesome it is. What he's doing is fantastic. I got to get Anthony Berardi. He got us the super chat. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it. He's got a pretty good question here. Why is Las Vegas holding on to Crosby at this point? What am I missing?
He doesn't want to leave.
I don't even know.
He does not want to leave.
I don't even know it's about that. They got Pete Carroll now, and they're going to build around him, according to Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll thinks he can build a team there, and that's what they're not going to let him go, because that is just negative. You know, you could draft somebody, like even a guy that might be Max Crosby, right? I mean, you've got him, so I think you're going to stick with him. So.
Yeah, he's made it very clear, even up to through last week. He's a Raider. He will probably die a Las Vegas Raider. Put him in a casket, and when he's 45 years from now, that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Also, his salary is such that any team trading for him would have to send somebody really expensive and prominent back. Like, okay, let's say you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you want to make a playoff push. You trade Trey Hendrickson for Max Crosby, because that's sort of where you're at in terms of getting him.
Yeah.
Draft picks alone aren't going to cut it on this one, because you have to create salary space for him.
Yep.
That's another reason why, not that the Browns would entertain trading Myles Garrett, but his contract is such where, like, okay, like, this is your last acquisition for the next 3 years, basically, because you're going to take 2 or 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and you're eating a contract that Aiden Hutchinson will probably sign this summer. Like, ain't nobody getting that.
All right, let me get into this. There's another one. He's gonna come in here and try to take over and be the third host, I think. Gray's back with a good one. Branches to the Lions as Isaiah Stewart is to the Pistons. The heartbeat of the defense has to keep from going mental. Absolute dog you want on your team. Yeah, and you need somebody to keep the cheating refs in line. That's directly for you, Gray. I had to say it. All right, let's talk a little bit about.
Right, though. All good teams do have that guy.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
if he's ours, that's great. I'm happy with that. I love Brian Branch.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. All right, let's talk about it. Looking ahead to the Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions coming up. Guess what? I'm going to be at that game too, Riz. I got 2 football games this weekend. Sandman.
Wow.
This is a weekend of treats. My brother hooks me up for the Wolverines game. Sandman hooks me up for the Lions game. Post game. That's why Gray's here, because there's no post game show this week. We thought we might be able to put something together, but Russ is going to be out getting chased by deer. So that's not going to work out for us. But I might do a live short from the field or on the walkout or something after the game. Last time I went to a Minnesota game, it was with Sandman, and it was the Minnesota game that turned Dan Campbell's career and the Lions around in that year, where St. Brown won it in the last second, catch the end zone. It was beautiful, and it was the start of everything great that happened with the Detroit Lions, and it's just absolutely a fantastic time. There's nothing. Sam Hen said it. What's a more classic combo? Us two at a Minnesota Vikings game. So can't wait.
I hope your ketchup is good, Andy.
Yeah, he sneaks his own packets in. I didn't want to say it too loud, but
it's a very inside joke.
All right, let's talk about it. We've got the Detroit Lions ranked number 3 as a team grade, offense at 5th, the defense at 2nd, special teams at 8th. I just want to go back to that defense at 2nd. With the injuries that we've had, honestly, just remember that. If you look at it, the market has the Lions favored 8.5 points. 8.5 points for the Lions against Minnesota. How's that feel, Riz?
It's low. More.
Okay. If you say so, I'll give you more. So we got that. I want to get really quick to the other pieces of the betting information. You have 8.5. The over under. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Over under is 48.
48. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with the over on that, and I'm probably taking the bait on this one. It's probably going to be like 47-0, and that's why they're not going to get to the over. But
I've got it. I've got it like 34-7, or 29-10. I'm pretty bullish on the under in this one.
Yeah,
and that's not a reflection of the Lions' offense at all. That's a reflection of our defense against their offense. I'm going to just share this. This is we do the behind enemy lines every week with the other wire editors. Our Vikings wire guy is Andrew Harbaugh. Yeah. You might remember him because he did the Buccaneers one as well. All of us run 2 sites. He is a former Lions Wire employee. And he just went through their laundry list of their offensive line and where they're at. Christian Darrisaw, left tackle. Good player. Was seemingly on a pitch count this past week. They kept saying they almost didn't play him because they didn't want to test his knee. They are still very concerned about that. The team and the way they manage injuries blows his mind. Donovan Jackson, guy I liked a lot in the draft, was playing well, but a wrist injury that needed surgery took that momentum away from him. He has not played well since. Ryan Kelly, their center, has had concussion issues. Problem. Will Fries, their bright spot, he's their right guard. And Brian O'Neill, their right tackle, has just been beaten up all year and is ruled out week to week, it seems. He's been inconsistent as well. Like, this is an offensive line that was really a good one last year, was part of the reason for their success. And it has fallen apart, like, physically. And that's, now you're going to start J.J. McCarthy behind that. Chris, name their starting running back. Pop quiz.
Never heard of him.
There you go.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see. That's a lot going on. Sorry. Our defense is going to get us a lot of short fields, and that's the thing where I'm looking towards the over. If I look at the money line's crazy.
So is it still 500?
Yeah, minus 500 for the Lions, plus 375 for Minnesota. I think
that's absurd.
Yeah, in the NFL, the parity league.
You have to bet $500 to win 100 if the Lions win. That's what that's telling you. That's not a good investment, not a good return, I should say. I mean, you should get your investment back, but why would you risk that?
It's 20%. It's a 20% return.
Yeah, I need more. More.
Where do you bank? Anyway. I don't bank
It's
with that
currently
kind of
under
risk.
the Turks and Caicos are currently under hurricane warning. So,
Yeah, under Melissa.
by the way, that
I've been under Melissa.
for you fellow weather nerds, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Like,
hilarious. That's wild.
what is happening to Jamaica is unreal. The fact that that storm is so stagnant with that level of wind and that barometric, like, I can't even put in words.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's going to be a
unreal.
disaster. It's going to be a disaster.
I pray for everything in Jamaica and Haiti and Cuba and the Turks and like this is a this storm is bigger than Katrina was. And Chris, you and I have seen firsthand what that did to New Orleans, and it is still 20 years later messed up.
Yeah,
down there. They have not fully recovered. Like I can't imagine that. I've never been to Jamaica, but I can't imagine that their infrastructure is as good as what New Orleans was before Katrina.
No.
Like, I'm so fearful and just I really hope it comes out okay for these people.
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. We'll see. Rick C, he's been under Melissa for 25 years. And Jarrett, I was just joking, man. Hopefully you didn't take that too seriously in the chat. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. It was funny. It was funny. All right. Topical season is another reason I moved away from the South. 3 hurricanes in one summer was enough for me. Yeah, I got to tell you, I lost my roof last year. That was an exciting ride. I've kept it this year, so that's nice. All right, so there you go with the Minnesota game. As kind of we look at the depth across the lines. Really, other than Brian O'Neill, their right tackle, their offensive line is and Darisaw, but he's as you talked about already.
They're not. Neither one of them is right. They're both more inhibited in their play than Taylor Decker was last week when we last saw Taylor Decker. They are both less physically capable than Taylor Decker is right now.
Yeah. And when you start looking at their line, the vaunted Vikings defense, right, has just withered into weakness.
I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel's been out. That dude killed us last. He was their best player last year against us.
Van Ginkel. Yeah, no, he's got a fun name to yell at. But yeah, no, I'm happy he's not there. Happy for us, not happy, whatever. But I mean, I gotta tell you, their defense, just PFF scores. I'm looking across the numbers, and it's a barren wasteland. The right side of that defense, it's I guess the defensive left side, but the right side for the offense is just begging to get cornholed. I mean, it is a disaster over there.
Cornholed.
Just tossing the beanbag. That's all. No, it's bad news. It's bad news, Vikings. I gotta tell you, just looking at the player grades right now is not looking well for the Vikings. This is how you get to minus 500 on the money line.
They don't particularly cover all that well. Their linebackers are very good at blitzing. They don't go backwards very well. They still blitz higher percentage than any other team in football. What's Jared Goff at his best? When the opposing team blitzes and they're in man coverage because he knows where to go with the ball. We talked about all the weapons that are at his disposal earlier. He's really good at reading those and getting them. That's one of the reasons why they've blown away the Vikings in the past.
Yeah.
Better Vikings teams than this one in the past. You can't overlook them. You can't say that they can't win because last week proved anybody can beat anybody, but this is a game that it might be the easiest game on the schedule for the rest of the year for Detroit. It really might.
Jay-Z, well, no, they play him twice. Jay-Z says that Minnesota is tied for third in sacks allowed. Jeff Merrill says Aleem is going to be on top of JJ so much JJ's wife is going to be jealous. I'm going to say Aleem is going to be on top of JJ so much they're going to start questioning his sexuality. It's going to be a mess for that poor guy out there. That's between Aleem and Hutch and the rest of the crew, man. It's time to eat.
I think has been playing pretty well. I know it doesn't show on the stats, but he's played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Jack Campbell game where they're not going to play much zone. I hope. I want to see him run and cover in man TJ Hawkinson. He can do it.
I feel like if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, my whole game is based on the screen. Because what else do you got? Like your quarterback's gonna get murdered.
Because the Lions, like, even with everybody healthy in the secondary, they are vulnerable over the top. The trick is that you have to have enough pass protection to get it.
Yep. Which is why I think the screen sets that up. You know what I mean? I think everything.
Yeah,
they're not going to. Aaron Jones isn't going to be able to run the ball. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball against this Lions line. Reader, McNeil, Tyleek. I mean, like you're just, sorry. That's going to be a real hard ask. You screen, then you can slow down the rush, and then you can throw over the top. That's probably the entirety of the Vikings game plan.
and Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson certainly won't beat you with yak. We know that TJ Hawkinson get upended, fall to the ground spectacularly. That's what he does. But they can break tackles. Like Aaron Jones can break tackles. They run a lot of 12 personnel too, and they're like their tight end room's not bad. So like you got to take it seriously. But this is the Lions match up very well with what the Vikings don't do well. Yeah. And I like that a lot.
Yeah. So this is a good one. This is a good one to come back from a bye week. All of a sudden you've got a lot of guys coming back healthy, and you know what? You don't have to rush them. Like again, I would want some of these guys, if I had the choice, I'd let them wait for the Commanders and then I'd have them come back. But even then, some of the guys beyond that, you still have that, game before you meet Philadelphia, which is the middle of November. This is pretty good. But as we kind of stroll into November here, and this game on November 2nd, this is when the season starts, and this is what it's going to look like when we get out there, and this is going to be the first step in what could be the capstone part of the getting this team right at the right time. What do you say, Riz? You with me? Go Lions!
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Down the field, you get breaking the song, pull out the pom poms.
Y'all don't want me to sing.
No, we don't. All right. With that, we're going to call it a show. Thank you all for joining us. That's the game. Oh, we didn't do our predictions. Sorry. Let's do our predictions first, my friend. Mr. Risden, your prediction for this game.
I'm going to go. I do worry a little bit about our inexperienced interior offensive line here against a very blitz-happy defense. So that gives me a little bit of pause. I'm going to go 29-9 Lions.
29-9, huh? Okay.
That's scoregami. I don't even know.
Could be.
Where are you at?
I'm thinking about it, and I'm just gonna mess it all up. I'm gonna go 38-10. I think the Lions offense
right on the line.
I think the Lions offensive line, or not offensive line, but the offense is gonna fire. This break, the refurb, the work that's going to be that they put into this is going to be ready. This team, Campbell's been busting his ass the entirety of this bye week. He's going to come in and he's ready to push in some stool, and the Vikings are going to take a seat though. So I have a feeling, and of course, right on the line to break everybody's world. So. 38-10, Detroit Lions. And we're going to feel real good about the offense afterward, and I'm going to feel real bad because I wasn't able to do a post-game show. I apologize, folks. But every now and then, I get to go to a game, too. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Nothing wrong. Enjoy your trip. Enjoy your games.
Thank you. I know I got Shake Shack to eat on the way back. Delta's got the Shake Shack in the in-flight meal. I can't wait for that one. All right, remember, don't forget about us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. Patreon.com Detroit Lions podcast. Get in there. $5 a month gets you access to the Slack chat where the greatest of any of the game threads and conversations happens every week. The greatest conversations about the Detroit Lions, the most intelligent Lions fans on the internet, the most intelligent Lions conversation on the internet. You got Riz, you got Brish, you got Brown, you got Ash, you got Gray, you got me, you got all the guys. It's great. And 350 of our closest friends hanging out, having a great time.
A lot of them have really good insight too.
They do. They really do. And to be fair, a lot of them inform some of the things we talk about and some of the topics in the show because they do have really, really good insight. And it's really a good, I don't want to say it's a hive mind because it's not, there's great conversations and challenging of each other, but it's respectful. Yep. But it gets you thinking. It gets you thinking, and I love that. But it's a great group of people. Also, follow us on the Twitter machine. Hold off on Riz right now. We don't want to talk about it. Things aren't going well.
That account that you see down there is no longer under my control. Please avoid it at all costs.
Yes.
Very sore subject right now.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at this comment. Jeff Merrill says, Chris, my mom thanks you for everything you do. Yes. She's very welcome.
Jeff, you can't say that to him. You cannot say that to him.
He knows what he's doing.
He does.
She already thanks me regularly. Don't worry about it, Jeff, but thank you.
Oh,
all right. And TET Lions podcast for more where that came from. Check that out. TET Lions podcast on the X. Go ahead and give us the thing. We're hanging out pants free. Sure to go to Detroit Lions podcast. I don't even know where I work. DetroitLionsPodcast.com. DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast and just do your thing. What do they do with it? What happens when they do that?
I get to come into your ear holes automatically. I want that.
That's why they took his Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters. We haven't needed toasters in ages. I should give that away. Lions branded toaster. No hot tubs and no problems because we are your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you again very soon.